Looks like there's some baby stuff in there. We just got word they dropped off a busload of train station. Train's coming in 3 minutes, so let's see what we can dig up. Where are you guys from? What country? Where? Venezuela? Downtown Chicago? You know where you're going? Where are you going?
Español, no entiendo.
No comprende?
No English.
Chicago. Do you have tickets?
Yes.
Where are you from?
From Haiti.
Where?
Haiti.
Haiti? You going to Indianapolis?
Venezuela.
Venezuela. You all family? Familia or no? Who gave you that? Did you get that here, this ticket?
Yes.
Someone gave you here in the bus?
The bus.
The bus driver gave it to you? Yeah, you have to check. So that guy's he's from Haiti. He's been on the road for a month. And he said they gave him these tickets on the bus. And then he's going to take the train downtown and is supposed to get to Indianapolis. It looks like somebody just dumped him off here, Downers Grove, Illinois, western suburb, Chicago. Ah, there you go, there's more. Where are you from? What country?
Chicago.
What country? Venezuela?
Chicago. Venezuela, Peru.
Venezuela, Peru. Hello. Where are you guys from? What country? Anybody speak English? Venezuela? Oh, everybody from Venezuela? How come you didn't take the train to Chicago? The next train?
Para Wisconsin.
You going to Wisconsin? Wow. Milwaukee, Wisconsin? The train? You got tickets? Michigan, Milwaukee. Wow. So it looks like they gave her a ticket. They dumped a bunch of them off here in a bus. You saw the police officers wouldn't say nothing to us. And some people are going to Chicago, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, but they don't have instructions. And this train won't take them to Milwaukee, as you know. So I'll tell them in another translation.
Solo nos dijeron que cojamos el tren.
Jake, Paul, could you scan that ticket?
Yeah. That's GPS coordinates.
You.
Terry.
Okay.
GPS coordinates.
Okay. Oh. To get to Milwaukee, you have to take this train stop to Chicago like the other people just did. Then you'll take a train from Chicago up to Milwaukee. It looks like they're going to go to downtown Chicago, and they're going to have to find another way to get to Milwaukee. These were just GPS coordinates and not a ticket. So whoever dropped them off here at this station left them without any real instructions to get to any other locations, Milwaukee, Indianapolis. So we have people that were just dropped off in Downers Grove from Haiti, Venezuela, Mexico, Peru, with multiple destinations without any real train tickets. You know, Chicago said they want them. Bring them, send them to us. We're Sanctuary City. Vote for us. We're loving liberals. Now all of a sudden, it looks like they're losing the love. Yeah, I just talked to the conductor, explained the situation with people without tickets. He said they know about it. They're letting everybody on without tickets. So it's obviously coordinated with the city of Chicago to sneak these people into Chicago while Mayor Johnson pretends he doesn't know about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't make an agreement that all these people from throughout the world can jump on the train and not have to pay for it and get a ticket into the city of Chicago. Yeah, but we need to pay. took the train to Chicago. I know we were getting a bunch of BS about being nice to them, but we don't want them. None of us want them there, right? But
Well,
I wasn't
it's pretty sad when you actually see this in person. You see small children.
Yeah.
When you know what their future is.
Yeah, so we're not going to be mean bullies to these
No, not at
family
all.
members. And they're sitting in a train station, so we wanted to give them a little guidance to tell them, you should have jumped on the train, jump on the next train, and then go down to Chicago and figure out whatever is going to, you'll see on the next tape, they got handlers that are paid to come and babysit them from the Mexican border up to the different train stations throughout the country in Illinois. But unfortunately for these people, we didn't have to fund the handlers to take a bus ride here and flying back to Texas to do it all over again. So thanks for joining the show today. We're excited and disappointed to show you what's going on in our state because you're going to see the Democrats in Illinois, the Joe Biden, Mayorkas, they're collaborating with the cartel. So if any of you see Ben Berquam's shows, when he's down on the border, he's intercepting these people when they get dropped off by the cartel. And there's liberals down there. And these liberals are getting in Ben's face. They don't want him to film it and show it and talk about it. It's the same thing that was happening to us in Downers Grove. You'll see in the next segment. There's handlers there. They're telling these people not to talk to us. They won't tell us anything. And we're funding these bus rides all the way to Chicago and then train rides.
Taxpayer dollars.
And then they go on, but then they get distributed. So you're going to see some kind of scary stuff. You're going to see how the city of Chicago knows what's going on. You're going to see how the Chicago Metro Police greet these illegals at the train station, at Union Station, Ogilvy Station, and they kind of protect them and give them guidance until they hand them off to the city of Chicago emergency management folks. And you'll see they didn't want me talking to them. They didn't want me filming them, but they want us to pay for it. They want us to fund it. They are upset that we're exposing what's going on, and we're supposed to feel sympathy for these gang members and illegals, because you're going to see gang members in some of these other segments, and it angers me, it upsets me, and frustrates me that our country is being infiltrated. The war's already started on America's soil. We're already in war because we have enemies throughout the country and combatants and terrorists and drug dealers all embedded. You're going to see the next tape. It's mostly men and gangbangers. So go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest one of the issues here in Illinois is Mayor Johnson, right? So what he's done, and the reason that they're coming into the suburbs, is that he said, well, any of these buses that come to Chicago from Texas are going to get ticketed or impounded. So that's his answer. So actually, he's making it harder on the immigrants that he purports to support and try to, lift up. By throwing them in abandoned warehouses with God knows if they have sanitation or anything like this, but he's bringing them he's bringing them in, and now he's saying, no, we're going to make it harder on you. We're gonna impound these buses. We're going to ticket them, and so they have to go to the burbs now and get on trains. And like Terry showed with that lady, she didn't know. She didn't seem like she knew that she'd have to get on another train to go up to Milwaukee. So this thing is total chaos. Nobody knows who these people are, where they're coming from, what they're here for, if they're criminals, if they're terrorists, because there's 8 million of them that have crossed during Biden's administration, and that's just the ones we've counted. I got a buddy in Border Patrol in San Diego that says, they catch. I mean, you talked about it. 70% get let go that we know of.
Yeah,
he's like God knows how many people that get across illegally. So the only other thing we're going to cover today is we're going to talk to some people from the Convention of States. The Convention of States is a group of patriots who wants to put some restraints on the government, fiscal restraints, stuff like for term limits for Congress people. So we're going to talk to them and get their perspective on how we could, rein in some of this government overreach. And then just something that we'll touch on in those videos that Terry mentioned. We had a constituent that actually emailed our mayor and was concerned about the illegal immigrants coming in buses into our town. And some of the towns around us are putting in ordinances to say, you're not coming here anymore. You're going to get ticketed. And same thing that Johnson's doing, although he's the one who pushed the pressure on us. So we had a constituent email our mayor, and our mayor said, I'm skeptical about the value of such an ordinance at this time. And lastly, I do not believe there is any threat to the safety of Downers Grove residents. Well, Terry and I are going to play a video that shows that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And Terry was actually at the train station to show that.
But you know what, Paul? We do offer a big thanks to Mayor Barnett. You know why? He's going to give us all kinds of videos to show the
That's
world.
right,
Thank you,
yeah.
Mayor. You
That's
and your
right.
liberal scumbags that are destroying the country. We're going to be there filming it. And we're going to show everyone,
That's
and we're going
right.
to show them your letter, how that you want to continue to let this happen. You're proud because of the pressure of the crazy liberals that took over Downers Grove and DuPage County. So you're going to placate them, and you're going to let them keep coming in.
Well, he's wrong
Downers
about
Grove.
that. He was wrong about what he said. Look, we have the video evidence to say, like, how would you know? Because we could show that you're absolutely wrong with the video.
There's gangbangers flashing gang signs at the train station, for crying out loud.
So, and to Terry's point, I think one of the main points of this episode that you're going to see is that citizen journalism is what needs to happen here. And we see a lot of it across the country. There's podcasts everywhere, but we're the news now. We don't need gatekeepers anymore. So
this next segment's going to show this. Next video is going to show the.
Well, we're going to set it up real quick because we got just to show you, because the one big point here is this is coordinated. This is being funded. So, Jason, you want to just pull up that Muckraker article real quick? And we don't need to go through this and just show it on screen, but we'll just post it real quick. So here's just a little example of how this is being funded. There's NGOs that are giving out these maps, these pathway maps to immigrants in Mexico to show them where all the hostels are, how to get to America, all this stuff. So for anybody who doesn't know what an NGO is, it's a non-governmental organization. Non-governmental organizations are
Catholic
basically
charities.
Right, 501c3s, but we're talking like George Soros Open Society Foundation, who we all know is destroying America with those liberal prosecutors, or like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who partnered with the WHO to give us COVID and mandated vaccines and things like so. A Rockefeller Foundation. So these are the types of organizations funding this kind of stuff to destroy our country. All right, Jason, we're gonna do the commercial. Okay, let's do the commercial. We'll come back to this and then go to the videos. So just to set up these two videos, the reason that people should worry about this stuff is not just the potential criminals, terrorists coming in, Terry, but we have a clip, and we'll share it on our website and Twitter and everything. But California is now going to be giving free health care through their CalMed program for 700,000 illegal immigrants. And Terry, I think we all know these blue states, they just follow each other. Yeah. So that's why people should be, we're not going to be able, who's paying for this stuff? Who's paying for this stuff? Us law-abiding citizens have to pay for these people? How's that fair? So that's just my message. And then we got a couple videos, right, Terry? You want to set these up?
The next video is going to show the second drop-off that we experienced. There was 8 There was 8 drop-offs in Downers Grove, Mayor, and there's going to be way more because of these other villages. They're putting ordinance. You don't have the balls to do.
Right.
So there's going to be twice as many coming up because you just sent out a letter saying you want them to be dropped off at the train station.
Right.
So we're going to have a lot more gang members coming flashing gang signs in Downers Grove, thanks to you, Barnett. So this is going to show you the next busload is going to have mostly men. I think there was only 2 women, and you'll see some gang signs flashing. You'll see some of the handlers who refuse to talk to me, who tell these illegals that don't even belong in our country not to talk to me. They're trying to protect them. So we'll show that clip right now so we keep this thing going along.
Yeah.
Can we hear the sound? Yeah.
Immigrants. It's off. It's on. It must be getting ready for the train. You want to talk about deja vu? Where you from? What country? What country? What country? Venezuela. Venezuela?
I'm from Venezuela.
Venezuela. You going to, where you going? To Chicago?
Chicago. Thank you.
Biden or Trump? Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Biden. Where you guys from? Venezuela?
Venezuela.
Biden or Trump?
Venezuela.
Biden?
Biden.
You want to pause the next
Where you from?
Pause it, the next one, or is that a problem? Okay. All right. So you'll see these guys coming off the trainers. They're I'm sorry, off the bus. And yeah, I was laughing. I said Biden, Trump, because I knew what the answer was going to be. I was like, I should have just said Biden, but I was cracking up laughing because, Biden was, Mayorkas was just on the air before we jumped on here, right? He was interviewed by Brett Baer and Fox. And Brett Baer asked him, they're all coming in because of Biden, and Mayorkas is denying it. And we got them in Downers Grove, Mayor Barnett, saying they're here because of Biden. We got them on the border saying because of Biden. But they're trying to blame the Republicans. They're trying to blame not having comprehensive immigration. Well, you know what that means to the Democrats? Open borders. Comprehensive immigration means you got to take your time. We don't have to accommodate you guys. It's not a God-given right that you're allowed to come to the United States of America and we're going to feed you. My grandparents came from Italy. Nobody put them up in a house. No one gave them clothes. No one gave them food. We weren't $30 trillion in debt. We didn't have enemies infiltrating the United States of America like we are now. So we don't owe these people squat. Yes, America was built off of immigrants. Yes, and we want to accept legal immigration.
Legal.
But we're in a point now where we're going to collapse. We can't pay we're 30 trillion in debt. We can't pay our bills.
Well, there you go. 2 points on this. What kind of citizen are you going to have down the road if their first action upon coming into the country is to break the law? Are they going to, you think those people are going to have respect for our culture, our country, our values, our laws, when the first action they take, which is being supported by our federal government? I mean, one big point here, Terry, is the federal government is literally breaking its own laws. That's like the definition of a banana republic is like, do as I say, not as I do. Like, that's especially not something that happens in a free republic.
I wonder if Barnett and Deb Conroy will take some of them, some of those that get stuck at the train station, let them move into their house. Right? I don't see any problem with that.
Wasn't New York doing something like that?
To take them into your house. You're going to have all these liberals bitching about us from Downers Grove.
Yeah, right.
Oh, racist. Oh, it's like, you're full of crap. They're trying to say, because we don't want
you could
be
put it in
flooded
your
with
campaign
illegals,
ads
that we hate everybody. We hate, Hispanic. No, we don't hate Hispanics. We hate illegal immigration and our country being
This is how a country dies. This is how a country dies. You have to look at the long. That's just such a, it's low hanging fruit to say that, they're bigoted because they don't want immigrants here. It's like, Who is paying? But Terry, between this and inflation, because they keep printing goddamn money and our dollar keeps getting devalued and we're having to pay for more, and then they're expanding the government because you're going to have to pay for all these people, we're going to lose our country quicker than we can imagine.
Let's jump back to the video. Keep it going.
Jump to 2 minutes if you could.
Wait. Okay, I got it right here.
Where you guys going? Where you going? Chicago? All Chicago?
These are all men.
Todo Chicago.
Are you guys? Are you from the same town? Are you from the same town in Venezuela?
I'm from Venezuela.
All together? Are you all friends?
Venezuela. You from?
What? Trabajo. What kind of?
Trabajo.
Yeah. Poquito. I don't know much.
It's not good. This is going to the news. You don't have to speak. This is not good for you, so you don't have to speak. Okay?
So what do you mean? What's not good for him? What do you have to say?
You don't have to give any information. All right?
Who do you work? Who do you work for, sir? Who do you guys work for? Who do you work for?
No comment, sir.
No comment?
No comment, sir.
So, Terry, I got to ask you, when you were there and that guy came up in the middle there and was like, this is not good for you. I could tell.
What's supposed to be good for him?
What?
Not even being our
What are
in
you
our
thinking
country.
on that? Like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, when I saw that, I was like, traitors.
Yeah.
Traitors to our country.
Just
Like,
so you know, thanks to my buddy, I'm not going to say his name. That African American guy lives in Las Vegas. We got his name. The other guy's from San Antonio.
that guy looked military, if you ask
Yeah,
me, from
yeah.
my experience, because the gear that he was holding, he, I mean, just his demeanor, the way he carried himself, I think he was ex-military, which makes it even worse. Right? We take an oath to defend the Constitution from enemies, both foreign and domestic. This whole illegal immigration thing is both wrapped into one: enemies, foreign and domestic, enemies within our own government who are overseeing the invasion of our country, and then possible enemies that are crossing the border, like terror. We know terrorists have crossed the border. Our own government has admitted it. Yeah. So it's just unbelievable to me. And the other thing I wanted to point out in that video, with the gang signs and and they're laughing. They think it's funny.
You guys
think
like
it's
my
a joke.
Spanish? I can barely speak English, so I have a hard time. I have a hard time. I have a hard time with the Spanish thing.
Little, right? Is that?
And then I'm trying to film, and I got the camera.
No,
I
you
can't
did a
use
good
the.
job,
I
man.
can't do the translator.
I mean,
So,
it was
all
just
right, go ahead, buddy.
it was shocking to see him just laughing at like haha, whatever. We don't care. We're gonna come here, and it is what it is. So you want to go to 7 minutes, Jason? Here's a good one.
Oh, you can't pause it, huh?
That's all right. Get
All
to
right,
it. Yeah, that's it right there. Can they hear us?
I'm not sure what those guys, where they're going. They were their escorts.
Oh, these guys were?
Those two guys over there with the suitcases, yeah.
Oh, okay. Those
They
guys.
must be waiting for an Uber.
It's like they left some goodies for us. A little travel bag, a little Chef Boyardee.
I wonder who these guys are. Yeah, we can't even take care of our veterans. Give them free healthcare, free food, free lodging, everything. All I have to do is vote the right way.
That's weird. Florida license plate. That guy's from Guatemala. Must be a rental car.
Well, quick recap.
Yeah, if you could find that guy. No, that's too far. Keep going. No, you're too far.
There you go, Bubba. Later. I know it sucks, huh?
All right. That was good there. You can stop it. That's enough of that. Yeah, so you saw that one guy, the African American guy, go by shaking his head. So he's like, "Do I gotta buy a ticket? These guys don't have to." And he was like,
right.
You know, so yeah, we're paying for all their tickets. Yeah, wherever you want to.
The big point there was those two stragglers.
Yeah, so there was actually 4 of them from Guatemala that stayed behind the train station, and they got picked up separately. That car had to be a rental car, right? I don't think they drove
license plate.
Yeah, they had to be a rental car. And then you saw the 2 handlers. So what they do is they take the bus from Mexico, the border, come up here, make sure these guys get on the train, take their luggage, go back to O'Hare, go back down, and do it all over again. I can imagine we're paying those guys a lot of money. Right?
Oh,
they're per diem and everything.
Their contractors were
paying them a lot of
making
money,
6 figures at least.
Yeah, we heard in multiple sources that we taxpayers are paying $5,000 a head, which makes sense. I mean, as you know, in the military, everything is more expensive when the government pays for it.
Right.
So I'm assuming they're charging all this extra hazard travel and
they'll just
all
print
this
more
other
money.
Crazy stuff.
They'll just print more money.
We had my friend Tara, Moms for America, found out the buses that were dropping off in Rockford were owned by this Hispanic couple from San Antonio, this husband and wife, and it was in the wife's name, the business. It was a minority-owned women business. And then she reached down to the company who said they're being contracted by another company, kind of trying to cover who's paying for it. And then you'll see later the other tape that we're going to show, the other video. There's a school bus that's picking them up at Union Station, and the police officers and the Chicago emergency management person told me, "Oh, you're not supposed to film this bus. The city of Chicago has a contract with them. You're not allowed to film them." I'm like, "It's on the public street. Give me a break."
I mean, so like those guys getting picked up by the Florida car, like, "Oh, hey, Mayor, you think we're safe? We don't need an ordinance like these other communities." What do you think these communities are doing this for? Politics? No, it's because their citizens are coming to them saying, "We don't know who these people are. Don't let them get dropped off in our communities," because what could happen is what you just saw on that video, which was a car from Florida, we have no idea who that person is, comes and picks up these people from Guatemala that we have males, by the way, right? A lot of military age males that are seen immigrating across the border, Chinese, Guatemalan, from all over the place. Interesting to me. Either way, we have our mayor saying that it's not posing a threat to the safety of the community. How would you know? Yeah. I didn't see you out there. I just saw evidence that completely flies in the face of your statement.
I could tell you one thing before, if it was like in the 80s, before I reformed myself when I was a bad Democrat, I could have made millions off of those guys.
Yeah.
It's a joke. That's probably not a joke. It's probably true.
No, it's absolutely true. Yeah. Man, you got fentanyl mules and there's still a major illegal drug operation.
And they're gonna have more guys that are willing to take risks to make money, to sell drugs, to distribute drugs, to be mules.
Absolutely. When they get down there and they realize there's no work for them, like how many of these guys are going to resort to crime because they have to survive.
Yeah.
They have to survive.
So do we have? What's the next tape we got?
Well, so we got Convention of States coming up, but I know you wanted to play something from
do you want to show the newest one you got from New Year's Day?
The Union Station one, right?
Yeah, you got the 2 people that I interviewed, Jason.
Yeah, from the
one I set up.
Which one did you set up?
The Ogilvy one, right?
I set up the Union Station one.
Okay, well, we could do the Union Station.
That's actually kind of more shocking.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we'll show the Union Station one. You're going to see in this one. So I went down to Union Station New Year's Eve, and I went to Ogilvy Station where I got a homeless person and a vet, and we're not ready to show that tonight. We're still working on some editing. It is on our Rumble channel.
Yeah,
but it's kind of sad because we've got people living in these very same train stations that these immigrants are being embraced by the city of Chicago with our tax dollars and taken to hotels and living quarters. And this one lady said she's homeless and she's been waiting 2 years on Chicago Housing Authority waiting list to get housing. This other African American vet works at the VA, I think.
Can't take care of our own vets, but we could bring in all these illegal
I have to
immigrants.
fight and beg for everything I get. And so you guys can see that on our Rumble channel. I'll post it on Facebook and Twitter as well. So this other segment is when I was at Union Station New Year's Eve later at night. So I drove down there and wasn't sure what was going to happen because it was New Year's Day. And I went to the to the area where all the trains come in. And I saw a police officer, a Hispanic guy. And I went up to him. I said, hey, is this where all the illegals come in? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, they're being dumped off in the suburbs. And he goes, sometimes. And I said, is this, are they greeted here? Is there a handler? He goes, sometimes. Why do you want to know? And I said, I'm just curious. So I went and sat down. As soon as I sat down, all these illegals came off the platform. And you're going to see this. And this cop lied to me. He lied to me. He was the greeter. He was from the Metro Police Department. As the police department are sitting there greeting them, they know who they are. Then he took them and handed them off to the Chicago Emergency Management. Oh, so I'll play the tape instead of me going through it all. They're all colluding against us.
Money.
And made it. Yeah, skip through that because I already. There you go, right there.
Okay, let's see where they're going. Yeah, what's up?
Cuba. Venezuela.
Lots of Venezuela.
Why was he? Did you say peace to him?
Oh, back up a little bit. Yeah. Back up so you can see. Help me. Yeah, you back up where you can.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Can I help you?
No.
Leave it go. Just let it go so you see it interact.
It's a public place, buddy, right?
Technically, it's private property.
No, it's not. It's a public place.
I'll let
It's a public.
Amtrak talk.
Yeah. It's a public place. I could be here.
Yeah, as long as you just don't bother them.
Oh, I'm not going to bother them.
We're good for right now, but just don't
Yeah, I'm not
bothering them. Really.
I'm not bothering anybody. I'm just standing here.
Can I ask who you're with, though?
Huh?
Can I ask who you're with? Just my card.
No, you can if you like.
Give you my card. But
No offense against you, buddy. I know.
I'm still record you with you so we can make this all work together. You know what I mean? These people need help. We're trying to get them help.
No, so listen, I understand
We
that.
don't want them exploited in any kind of way.
No,
And that's the big thing right now. You know?
I'm not exploiting them, but at the same time,
I don't know you. That's why I'm asking you.
So hold on a minute. Who's paying for all this stuff? We got people that we got people that we can't even. We got people on the streets in Chicago.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? My grandparents came from Italy and they're from Poland.
Understood. And I'm Captain Governor. Pleasure to meet you.
Terry.
You're Terry. You mind me asking? I'm just trying to get a report here.
Yeah.
And just
I'm
communication
from
going.
Chicago.
That's it. Just try to get some communication going. Try to get
I'll follow up with you later.
Everybody wants to help them, and we want to help them too. So, so far.
And I'm not upset with you and I'm not even upset with them. I'm upset with our politicians allowing this to happen.
I have no comment on that. I don't know.
I'm not. Yeah.
You waiting on somebody or? You are? Is that?
South Des Plaines Avenue.
At this point, we're just doing the best we can.
I understand.
Together, families together, so.
Yeah.
Can they hear me on this? Just so you're going to see Chicago.
So
Emergency Management
from here they go to 800 South.
You're going to see Chicago Emergency Management folks come off. So you're going to have law enforcement that greets them at the train platform. Then here's FEMA. Stop right there. So it's Chicago Emergency Management. You notice they got a list there. They weren't writing down these people's names. They knew exactly who was there. So they knew ahead of time who was coming, and they're checking off names. And then you'll see this young lady who was also upset with me and didn't want me to film. And she's the one that tried to get the cops to arrest me on the outside. So let's show this to the end here, Jason.
Patches on their shoulders, so Metro Police met him at the train, walked him here, and are handing him off to the city of Chicago, folks. What train station did they come from? Can you tell me?
I have no idea. I know that they got off the train and they needed our assistance, and I'm here to provide that assistance.
It's great. Oops, sorry. Sorry, man.
Let him see him.
Interesting. School bus. They're going to school. Ma'am, who do you work for? Ma'am? City of Chicago,
I
right?
can't take any questions, I'm sorry.
But you do work for the city, right?
I can't take
I see
any
the...
questions. Can you step back, please?
I'm on the sidewalk. I'm not...
Can you stand back, please?
I'm on the sidewalk.
I'm gonna get...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
¿Por qué graba?
No, no comprende.
¿No comprende
No.
la situación de nosotros?
Huh?
¿No comprende la situación de
No le hables.
No.
No le hables.
You're recording people's kids. You're going to get reactions of people. I mean, if I had my kids here and you were recording them, I'd be upset too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Record without a
I wouldn't be sneaking my kids in illegally. You know.
They're not.
I wouldn't be sneaking my kids illegally in here.
Everyone's got their own opinions about what's going on right now.
I know. I'm not mad at you guys. I'm mad at the politicians. I'm not mad at them.
You know, politicians outside their offices are talking.
I'm just leaving the Union Station here. They took a school bus to 800 South Des Plaines Avenue, which
Stop it. Yeah. As you see, some of the stuff that wasn't on the video there, we're trying to speed this up a little bit too, is that that woman told me I couldn't film. And then she told me I had to get up the sidewalk. Then she went to try to get the cops to arrest me for something.
That one guy seemed irritated with you the whole time. It's
And then they told me off camera that emergency management woman told them that the city has a contract with the school bus company and you're not allowed to film them. I'm like, come on, man. I did a Joe Biden. Come on, man. It's bullshit, So they don't want us exposing it. They're lying, just like Minorcas lied today about everything. They're lying to us. People got to get pissed off and stop this stuff.
They're banking on the fact that people don't pay any attention to this stuff. But I mean, I'm sorry. Now that Mayor Johnson did us a favor, because now they're all coming to the burbs in buses and waiting on trains, and people immediately are going to their city councils and saying, we want an ordinance to stop this from happening. Why? Because we don't know who these people are. It's not about not being compassionate for children. I'll tell you, when I walked into that train station and I saw children my kid's age, 3 years old at least, I was heartbroken, because I know when I look at these little kids, they got no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's going on. They're just following their parents. But I know that their future is grim, because where are they going to go? To some warehouse in the city of Chicago, and they're going to wait for their parents to most likely not come out on top. And then what happens to these kids? That's the big question, Terry. What happens to a lot of these kids? And we've come to find out not good things.
Yeah.
And human trafficking is becoming one of the biggest problems in the entire world.
Keep in mind, in the city of Chicago, it costs approximately $30,000 per student. I imagine it's more when they don't speak the language. I imagine it's more when they don't speak the language. So,
absolutely.
These people are being put into mostly minority neighborhoods, and you're going to see in some of these upcoming episodes how the African Americans and Hispanics are pissed. They're pissed off, man, and they're ready to vote Republican.
The city doesn't take care of their neighborhoods. The city has spent generations destroying their neighborhoods with the welfare policies, and now they see, oh, you're just going to bring in a lower class, and then again, Terry, we went back to that story I mentioned about the California. It doesn't even matter that California said we're going to pay 700,000 illegal immigrants health care. That's going to happen regardless. If people don't understand how this works, you know.
Hey, did you see the tattoos on that one officer?
Yeah, I did see that.
I wonder if he was one of those new Pritzker hires.
All right, I think we're running a little late, so we want to bring in our guests, right, Terry? We got Barry Newman and David Winters from Convention Estates on the line with us. So, again, Convention Estates is a group that's going to try to help fight all the stuff's going on. Why don't we bring them on, Jason?
Hello.
Is this? Hey,
Hi, Terry and Paul.
Is this? Who do we got here? Well, why don't you guys introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm on camera. This is Barry Newman.
Okay.
And good to see you both. Happy New Year. And thanks for having us on. My partner here is our state director, David Winters.
Hello. Thanks, gentlemen, for having us on.
Hey,
Absolutely.
how you doing?
So, Barry, David, why don't you give us a few-minute elevator pitch of Convention Estates history, what you guys are involved in, and the movement, and you know how you plan on fighting what's going on in America today.
Yeah, because I'm here, guys.
Sure.
You got to do an elevator pitch for dummies. So go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. We're a 10-year-old organization, totally driven by the grassroots in all 50 states. We're using Article 5 of the Constitution to basically make an end run around Congress and the federal government and work through the state legislatures to amend the Constitution. The three predefined objectives for us is fiscal restraint, maybe in the form of a balanced budget amendment, controlling scope and jurisdiction, that would be stopping unfunded mandates like migrants that you were talking about, also the polluting of the General Welfare Clause and the Interstate Commerce Clause. And then the third prong of our predefined objective is a very debatable topic called term limits. We're looking to term limit about 2.5 million federal employees. That would be Congress, the heads of 47 plus federal agencies. So think Anthony Fauci, for example. Mm-hmm. And then it gets very interesting. All of middle management and the federal agencies, and then all the judges from the lowest circuit county judge that covers Northern Illinois all the way up to the Supreme Court. So far, 19 states have passed our uniform resolution. Constitution says you need 34 or 2/3 to come together to discuss and propose amendments. I would venture to guess that these prongs of the predefined objectives would be debated for 60 to 90 days before they ever go back to the states for ratification, and then you need 3/4 or 38. So we have 19 so far. I'd say keep your eyes on about 10 states. And for this upcoming session, Illinois is in play in a big way. We're one of the few blue states that's in play, along with Massachusetts, New Jersey, and several others. Everybody wrote off Illinois, but when I was counting votes 2 years ago, we only needed about 17 more votes to pass in the House. We're going to go ahead and introduce it in the Senate this year and have a dual parallel track. And I'll let Barry give his little talk on the stuff I forget. So Barry, take it away.
Sure. So here in Illinois, we have over 83,000 supporters and petition signers, and I'll get to the petition in just a minute. Over 5 million supporters nationwide. And like David said, it's a three-pronged approach: fiscal restraint, reducing the size and scope of the federal government, and term limits. When we say term limits, not just for Congress, but for when we say federal officials, put in parentheses the word Fauci. So what we're asking all listeners and viewers to do is please go to our website, conventionofstates.com. And there you'll learn about the Convention of States movement. You'll have an opportunity to please sign our petition. You can sign it online, share it share the website, share the information with like-minded friends, family, neighbors, acquaintances, strangers, and please do sign our petition. That's how we are able to tell our representatives in Springfield that there is support of the grassroots in their districts. And that's where it happens. It's got to happen in Springfield by having our reps in the House support House Joint Resolution 3. That's the Convention of States resolution. Like David said, it's going to be introduced this session in the Senate as well, so it'll be a parallel track. And this is a possibility in the state of Illinois. We're working very hard. It's counter.
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
Being that the state of Illinois is pretty much controlled by the Democrats, super majorities, right? Super minorities,
right?
And we got Congressman Senator John Curran, the minority leader. I can't even get the guy to stand up and say porn is bad in his daughter's school. Our kids go to the same school, right? I begged him for 2 years. So help me understand, like you say, we could do this in Illinois. The Illinois GOP is very weak, right? They're very weak. And we have a lot of rhinos. So help us understand how that could be a possibility.
Right. And so I would agree with you to some extent, but when you get a little bit further deep into the process, what you realize is there's a lot of support, obviously, from your limited government GOP type, but through the discussions we've had with state senators and House reps, it's all about finding the moderate Democrats that really are, a lot of them have past histories as mayors, councilmen, county board people. They tend to be very comfortable reaching across the aisle and seeing the bigger picture. And so there's about 28 moderate Democrats we've been sitting down with, and you would be amazed at how supportive they are of this, because our founders knew that government tends to get bigger and bigger and more autocratic. And these people actually have the power to put the brakes on the federal government. Let's look at this migrant crisis right now. That is a hot button issue that is nonpartisan. This affects all of us. And you know what? They're on it as much as the GOP is on it. So we're having very positive conversations with a lot of moderate Democrats. And, you just need a handful of them to tip it in.
Yeah.
So all I can tell you, you would be surprised that the biggest COS army in the country is right here in Illinois.
Well, it's
we have
an
about
equal opportunity. It's an equal opportunity effort, right? It's, for anybody who says like things aren't working, here's an option for both sides to agree that we can, we can kind of come to agreement on. I had a question for you about the.
Sure.
I had a question for you about. So you mentioned there is a three-pronged approach. One of the things you mentioned was the reducing the scope and size of the federal government, and then the term limit thing, and not just for congressmen and women, but for federal bureaucrats. I mean, I think that a lot of us understand that a lot of the issues that we've seen is because there's just churn in Washington D.C. So explain a little bit about that part, about how that can help solve some of our problems, and like how some of our problems have come from those issues.
Well, let me counter that and just say this. I'll let Barry chime in. Most people don't realize how much money is involved at the federal government level, these positions of influence. I'll give you a quick example. 22 years ago, a guy knocked on my door and woke me out of my Sunday afternoon nap, and he said, "Hi, I'm Peter Roscom. I'm running for Henry Hyde's seat in the 6th District." And his teeth were chattering and knees were knocking, and the snow was coming down horizontal. And I finally said, "You want to come in and warm up and use the bathroom?" And he said, "That'd be great." Well, that started a friendship with Peter Roscom, who was my congressman before Sean Casten booted him out of office. But if you guys had to guess, about 22 years ago, how much money do you think the GOP and the Dems spent on a hyper-competitive House district in suburban Chicagoland? If you guys just had to guess, what kind of numbers would you throw out?
Oh, I don't know, a couple million maybe, or...
Yeah, That's what I thought. So the GOP put in 15 million, the Dems put in 10. 22 years ago.
20
Yeah,
years?
22
Wow.
years ago, 25 million were put into one hyper-competitive congressional race. If prices double every 10 years on standard inflation, that means 10 years ago, hyper-competitive race in Congress was worth 50 million. Now it's worth 100 million. Why is it worth so much money? It's because it's a position of influence that controls a lot of purse strings.
Right.
And so the amount of money sloshing around here, guys, you and I can barely fathom.
Right.
So at the end of the day, what you're going to find is an all-volunteer army is using Article 5 in the Constitution to bring down and really put the shackles on an out-of-control federal government. Barry, what'd I forget?
Not a whole hell of a lot, but when you really look at it, when we're meeting with these moderate Dems, part of our pitch to them is you have the power and control, and you can make this happen and bring all this money and power back to the states and get out of this one size fits all, from the Department of Energy to the Department of Education to everything else. Every dollar coming back to Illinois, by the way, we get less in return than we send to DC. Every dollar comes with strings attached. And the other pitch that we give to these reps that they buy in is, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you is maybe you might want to advance from your position in Springfield to one of the congressional seats or even senatorial seats in the state of Illinois. Maybe you don't want it, but somebody else in your party might want it. That's going to open up leadership opportunities for you within Illinois. One thing to keep in mind also, in the process of Article 5, not only does it go around Congress and the president, it also goes around the governors. Pritzker has no say in this. It is totally up to the legislatures. And that's the way George Mason, one of our founding fathers, wrote this thing into Article 5 as they were ending.
Well, so one of the big one of the big takeaways here is that, you know, we're trying to give autonomy back to the states, right? I mean, to your
and
point,
the people,
to your point, one of the central arguments the founders had when they were building this country was how much power the federal government is going to have and how much autonomy the states are going to have. And I think that's what you're trying
Paul,
to.
when you look at it, Paul, the states are the parent, the federal government is the child, and right now, we have a juvenile delinquent on our hands.
Yeah, yes. Well, and that makes sense that you got the three pronged. The other part of this is fiscal restraint, right? I mean, hey, I'll tell you one way to have some fiscal restraint: start chopping out some of those government bureaucracies. Like the guy in Argentina, you seen this guy? He's on a whiteboard. He's just going across Ministry of Education, gone. Ministry of farming, gone. Just ripping them off the thing, and he's doing it. And I think what you guys are doing is spot on. There's a movement. There's a populist movement of the people out there and all across the world, not just here in America. And I think we're going to see a lot more thrust from that type of movement going forward.
Yeah, do you guys
in order to get that thrust going, though, we need all of your viewers and all of your listeners. Please go to our website, conventionestates.com, sign our petition. If you want to get involved, we have volunteer opportunities for everybody, no matter what your skill levels are. We will find a place for you within our organization, and we are nonprofit, nonpartisan, and everybody's welcome.
Do you guys have any?
I'm sure you have this. Guys,
I'm sure you have this on your website, but do you have any upcoming national, state, or local conferences or events that you want to mention right now?
Well, we participate in a regional level because everything is driven from the grassroots. So, for example, last year we did 32 public events, including 5 parades in Illinois. That was 2 years ago. This past year, we did 70 public events, big events like the Illinois State Fair, the DuQuoin State Fair, the Farm Progress Show, the Boone County Fair in Belvedere, all these regional fairs, Kane County Fair. But at the end of the day, we're totally driven from the grassroots. And again, we are nonpartisan. 1 out of 2 Democrats like term limits. 2 out of 3 libertarians like it. 3 out of 4 GOPers like it. But at the end of the day, when we sit down with your state legislator, whether they're a House rep or state senator, like I did yesterday, the first thing I handed this guy was, here's 2,600 households in your district that like our 3-prong approach.
Yeah.
So we not only have the email addresses, we have the boots on the ground to go see these people, because there's 118 House reps in Illinois and there's 59 state senators. So we're after a relationship with 177 legislators. So we're in the hunt, and I don't care what's going on at the national level so much as this legislation is coming to Springfield for a vote, whether or not Illinois is one of the 34. But we got to be prepared to be one of the 38 that tip it in.
Yeah, well,
So
we're big
Terry,
fans of the
as far as
grassroots
an
movement
answer
here.
to your question, as far as events, right now we're working on a public town hall meeting. Going to be in Woodridge. The new police station in Woodridge has a beautiful meeting room. We're trying to schedule it right now for April 7th. Once we get it set up, obviously we'll bring that information to you so we can get some publicity behind it.
Sure.
But April 7th, if it's not at the new police station in Woodridge, it'll be at the library. But it'll be a public information meeting, and we're looking for a guest speaker as well.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Lined up.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh yeah. That's good to have you guys. We're big grassroots fans over here. We're, working on our own movement. That's what this podcast is all about. So it's fitting to have you
Maybe
guys
we
on.
can hand out flyers to the Venezuelans at the train stations.
Yeah. Who know? They're going to end up voting in the next election. So,
Right.
Well, thank you guys. And,
Yeah.
if anything we can do to help promote it.
yeah.
Thank you both.
Yeah, good to see you, Barry and David, and everybody. Go visit Convention Estates. Is it conventionestates.com?
Yes, no dots, no periods, just conventionestates.com.
For you grassroots people out there, conventionestates.com. Sign the petition. This is a grassroots movement. The federal government isn't going to get off their ass, so we got to do it for them. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
So let me say something real quick before you
Yeah.
up, right?
No, sure.
I honestly, I don't know what to say. I'm like, our country's like, you guys, we're losing our country, man. It's right before our eyes. I was most passionate about the porn and our kids being indoctrinated and CRT and anti-police, and that got me involved. This is more important than anything. I mean, anything that we've been through in our country.
Yeah.
And we need, you guys got to get involved. We got to change. We got to change what's happening. It's too late. I mean, I don't want to say it's too late. It's almost too late. You guys got to wake up. You got to save America. You got to help our children. We can't leave this shithole country that Biden and the Democrats are leaving for our children. You got to wake up and get involved.
Yeah.
I'll hand it off to you. I'm done.
I'd echo what Terry's saying. I love this country. September 11th happened. I volunteered to go fight whoever attacked us. The only thing I could think to do now, because I'm sitting on my ass a couple of years ago and seeing all this COVID crap happen, what they're doing to kids, and that's where I met Terry, is just step up and say something. I can't carry a gun anymore in that capacity.
Me neither.
But Terry's right. We're getting invaded. I think the biggest thing, that one of the things that Terry and I talk offline about all the time is the fact that we're not seeing the sense of urgency. Like, this is serious. We're losing our country. This year will determine whether or not we're going to be a free republic into the future, or we're going to fall to communism, because that's what we're staring in the face. Yeah. It's communism. It's there. The experiment is happening in Illinois, California, New York, those blue states. If you look in between the lines at the details of how they're governing, they are literally reining in communist policies in our states. So Go to places like conventionestates.com, follow us, start getting involved, go to the train station, email your mayor and say, we don't want these people here, not because we're not compassionate, because we don't know who they are and they could be criminals or terrorists and you're not doing anything to vet them.
Barnett, you're a weasel.
So
Weasel, man.
that's all I got to say. And there is a way to help save your country. Get involved in your community. Speak up. Or forever lose your country.
I lied. I got two quick things
Go
to
ahead,
say.
I'm done.
So
That's
we
it.
got some big names coming to Illinois and Chicago. I'm not going to say who. We got two big names coming in the next couple of months that are going to be visiting Chicago. So stay tuned. At the
Big
right
guests.
time, I'll let you know.
Big guests.
And it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Terry. I think it was a good one.
Thank you.
Thank
Wake
you.
up. Wake up, America.